everyone! So today I want to bring you a video on the staple products that you should have in your makeup collection for anyone that's trying to get into makeup more or to learn a little bit more about makeup to achieve some of the looks that you might see or some of the looks that maybe I do on this channel. I think that these products are perfect for people who are starting out in makeup and might not know what to buy first. And obviously you can't buy everything at the same time unless you have that kind of money, but I think that these products are perfect for people who are just trying to get into it and seeing what they absolutely need in their collection to get started. And for any of the stuff that I recommend, this is all stuff that I have personally tried, and if you have some favorites that maybe you have that I'm not mentioning, that's fine. You should actually leave it down below. Maybe other people can comment and see what you suggest. So the first products I'm going to start with are primers. If you have more oily skin, I would tend towards the silicone-based primers, which a great one for that is the Arbonne primer. I really like the company and I really like this primer. So if you are looking for something that's going to keep your makeup on all day and you might be more on the oily side, I highly suggest this. I also suggest the Smashbox primer, the Photo Finish. So basically anything with a silicone feel are going to be great for the oily people. If you're more on the dry side, I suggest the Too Faced Hangover RX because it's more of a lotion. So that is what I look more for, are the primers that have a more of a lotion consistency because I need that extra hydration in my face. Always prime your lids before you try and go in with eyeshadows. It will just make the pigments stand out more and it will make them last all day. So the one that I recommend is the Eyeshadow Primer Potion from Urban Decay. I've always used this one. I love this one. There's no reason for me to try and find something else. I actually really like this in Eden, I believe it is. So it gives you a concealed look on your lid. And by doing that, basically you are completely removing any of the pigmentation already on your lids, any redness, any veins that might show through, and you're starting fresh. So that is one that I do recommend. I do love the Urban Decay Primer Potions and you should go get one. The next products I'm going to talk about are foundations. And I think a lot of people think that they don't need a foundation, which honestly I didn't even discover foundation until I was 26 years old. But what foundation is great for is evening your skin tone and giving you a more flawless looking face, because everybody has freckles or pimples or age spots or redness in certain areas, and foundation can just even it all out before you're going to go in and try and bronze and highlight and blush, and even to make your eyes look better. So you just want more of a even consistency on your face, which makes everything else look better. So the ones that I suggest are e.l.f. in the drugstore. This is at Target, and this is a very low priced brand and they make great products. So I really suggest this e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. I also suggest the True Match L'Oreal Foundation if you're looking for more store brands. And then if you are looking for more high-end brands and maybe you're somebody who doesn't really want a cake face, doesn't want a lot of foundation on, just really wants to get that even skin tone, I highly suggest the Bare Minerals Bare Skin. This kind of comes out as a liquid and it just drops on, and you can drop it on your beauty blender or even on your brush and you can just apply it right to the face, and it is extremely lightweight for those people who maybe even only use tinted moisturizers or no foundation at all. I think this is a great one to get started with. If you're looking for more of a full coverage foundation and you're still looking drugstore wise, I highly suggest the Revlon Color Stay Whipped. It comes in this jar and honestly it's not going to move. It is so high coverage that it is not even moving if I turn it upside down. Like, that stuff is still in there perfectly formed. So this is really full coverage, but I do love it. This is something that will look good even 12 hours later. It says 24 hours, and I'm telling you, it is 24 hours. This is good stuff. Now I am gonna roll into concealers. So my two favorite concealers out there are the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer and the Naked Skin by Urban Decay. And these two, I think this one is more for people who have maybe a lot of bags under their eyes or dark circles. I definitely suggest the MAC one for that. It's definitely more full coverage. And the Naked Skin Concealer is still pretty good. It's definitely good coverage, but it has more of a lightweight feel to it. So for people who might not have as many problems for under their eye and just kind of want to lighten up that area, I do suggest this one instead. There are some good drugstore ones out there, like the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer is really good. I also suggest the L'Oreal Concealer. I believe it's part of the Magic Lumi collection. I think that's a good one. The next product I'm going to talk about is a setting spray. I think setting sprays are important because you you know, are doing all of this makeup on your face. You're trying to create basically a masterpiece in art, and you want it to stay all day or all night, and you don't want that stuff to move. You have just worked on it for probably half an hour, so you don't want all of your work to go away in a couple hours when it fades away or it gets smudged or something else. So the one that I recommend as a setting spray is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. I really like this, and I like that it comes in a miniature size, so you can really just try this out. It's in the aisles of right where you go to check out of Sephora and Ulta. They both have this. So you don't have to buy a full bottle of it. You can just try it and see if it works for you. Okay, and next I am going to go into some creams. The most important part of anyone's facial regimen should be day creams and night creams. So I do have a blog post about this already, but definitely apply a day cream every day. It will save your face and make it look more young and give it back more moisture that it really needs. I also feel like night cream is extremely important, and while you're sleeping at night, why not try and put moisture back into your skin? I love this Mario Badescu Caviar Night Cream. It is incredibly thick, and some of you might not be into that, but I mean, what is the difference when you're at night and you're sleeping anyways? Like, I love to just pat it all over and like be all greasy, because then I know that like I'm getting the minerals and the moisture back in my skin that it really does need. So I love that at night because I'm not going anywhere, so why not? And then the day cream, this day cream is super lightweight for anybody who doesn't like that greasy effect. And it's called the Sheer Transformation from Ole Henriksen. I can never say that. The next staple product I wanted to talk about was eyeshadows. Now, if you're somebody who maybe just has drugstore shadows and is looking to have a palette or looking to invest in a palette that maybe has 10 or so eyeshadows, the one that I always suggest is the Lorac Pro palette. This is a palette that has all of the colors that you could ever need for a normal look. It has shimmers on the bottom here, and it has matte colors on the top. This one has more versatility than the Naked palettes, all of the Naked palettes, and it's also cheaper. So, and it's got a great case, and it's super thin, so you can take it on vacation, you could take it for the weekend. It's got all the colors you could possibly need in it, and even more than that, all of these colors are so pigmented that they really do have the great color payoff, and I suggest this palette all the time. One of my favorite colors is this garnet color right here, so I'll just swatch it for you, and that's that color. So really, I mean, I didn't really press very hard, and it has that much of a color payoff, which none of the Naked palettes, I'm sorry, none of them have that color payoff and aren't as like, this is shimmery and the Naked palettes are like glittery. I think everybody's collection needs a dark brown matte color, a dark black matte color, some shimmer colors and some highlight colors over here, even a matte white color, matte cream color, I mean a transition color right there. This palette has everything and I love it. And now we're gonna go into my favorite part, which is talking about brushes. There are 4 or 5 tools that I feel like everybody needs. I don't care if you're just starting out. I don't care if you don't even want to do that much makeup. You need 4 tools to make your face look great with any makeup look. And that is a blending brush. This blending brush is a more fluffy blending brush, and it goes right above your eyelid. This is for the transition color or to blend anything out. Maybe you made a mistake, or maybe there's a harsh line. You need a big fluffy brush to go in there and just blend out whatever you want to. Then the next one would be this more tapered blending brush, and this is great for adding some dark colors, so maybe to the corner of the eye or the crease of the eye. This is going to give you more definition in your eye, and it's great because it's goat haired, so you can really get in there and it will blend very easily with the goat hair bristles. If you don't, if you can't find goat hair, that's fine too. It's just not going to blend as well, and I definitely think you need that tapered get in there on your crease. The next one is just a shader brush, which I'm pretty sure everyone has these anyway. It's just for your lid to pack on the color on the lid. These come with like, I mean, I think this one was like under $1. It was at Forever 21, but any of them will do, synthetic, non-synthetic. Basically, you just need this for any pigments, any eyeshadows at all, just put on your lid. The fourth one is a pencil brush. Pencil brushes are great because they are so sharp and so pointed that you can get right underneath your eyelid. So for that lower lash line, you can really smoke it out. You can even go right into the crease for a very precise feel. You can go right on the outer V for a really precise look. So this is really great for something like that. And last but not least, my favorite tool of life, the Beauty Blender. I feel like everybody needs one of these. You don't, I mean, I guess you don't, but like you really should have one. It just really flawlessly will blend out the face. It takes no effort at all. It's $20, the Beauty Blender, and while that is really pricey for a sponge, it lasts around a year and a half with normal use. At least that's how I've felt about the Beauty Blender. That's how long it lasts, but I just love it. You basically, it comes as a little sponge, you put it under the sink and you like puff it up as the water is getting into the sponge, and you want it to be damp. So what I do is I take a foundation brush and I lay the foundation on my face. I then go in with this and I pat it all out. And it really does just get rid of, I mean, it really just blends everything in so great. I've tried the Real Techniques one in my last video and I just don't like it as much. I think it's stiff and I think that it doesn't blend as well. I think that this is so worth your money, and you can do concealer and foundation with it. And you can even, like, if you have too much blush on your cheek, you can always pat it out and so make that a little bit lighter. You can do anything with this sponge. I just love it. I mean, you guys know I love it. So the most important part is cleaning your brushes. Please, please, please clean your brushes. I mean, I almost do after every use, because if you have a certain color on that brush and then you dip it into another color, it's just not gonna look as good. Like, you're gonna put it on your eye, it's gonna look muddy. It's gonna look muddy, or you're gonna put it on your face, like all the blushes that go together, and it's just gonna look bad. It's not gonna look like an actual color. The best way to get your tools working the best for you is to clean them. And so when you put them back in the products that you want, they actually have that product only on the brush. So what I use and what I always recommend is the Beauty Blender Solid Cleaner. And while this is a Beauty Blender cleaner, I really think that it's great for all brushes. So mine looks really gross right now, but it's just great to swirl around the brushes. You wet them, you swirl them around, and then you put them under the sink, and I just go one by one. I swirl it, I put it under the sink, make sure it's clean. So if you're just looking for something to clean your brushes that might be a little bit more time consuming, but at least it's cheap, I would try olive oil and Dawn soap. I would mix them together equal amounts, and I would swirl it around and then just put each brush into that kind of mixture and try it that way. But I think that it's more time consuming trying to get that product or that mixture out of the brushes and getting them super clean. So just keep that in mind. This is the easiest, and you can take it with you and, you know, whatever. The next thing I want to get into is actually taking off your makeup. So something that is extremely important for that are makeup wipes. I think that everyone should use makeup wipes before going in and cleansing the face. This is gonna take away all the makeup at first, and it's going to really take off that first layer of makeup that you need before you go in and wash your face. Because I feel like washing your face doesn't really do the job when there's so much makeup on your face that you're kind of just like moving it around. So I like to get everything off with these first. I really don't have a brand in mind that I like. I just go into the drugstore and see what's on sale and I buy them. Sometimes I buy 2 at a time. I know I'm always gonna need them, so why not? And then the next step is to clean your face. And while people might think that you can just go through and just wash your face and everything's gone, I really do suggest this Mia 2. It is a little pricey, so if you don't want to buy it, I totally understand. But basically, you put your face wash on it, it starts up, and you go through your face and you cleanse it. You use the white first, and then you use this. You'll see how much makeup is left over and that this gets. And I love that because I don't want any makeup sitting in there and like festering and like it's gonna come out in a pimple in a day or two. So I really like this a lot. You buy the brush heads separately for this, and you replace them every 3 months. This also charges, so you don't have to worry about batteries or anything, and it's also waterproof, so you can take it into the shower with you if you want to do it that way. I do suggest, though, definitely washing your face after makeup wipes. The makeup wipes do not get off everything. Do not be fooled by that. I just wanted to touch on things that I feel like every makeup collection needs. Obviously, I think that you should have a bronzer and a blush and lipstick, but I just wanted to touch on more of the things that people might not know about. So I wanted to make sure I did this video for you guys. I think it's extremely helpful for some of you. And if it is, please thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would love that, and you'd make me a very happy girl. And I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next time. You're just pushing that bacteria in your skin, and you don't need that. And that's why you probably have pimples. And that's that color right there. You can't see, so I'm gonna put it on my hand. But if I just do a makeup wipe and I just do this night cream, I swear to God, I'll wake up and it'll feel like my face is washed, which is really not the way to do it, so don't do it that way. But that's my lazy way. I probably shouldn't have even told you that because I think that that's probably bad. That's not good advice. Don't buy